TV News, expanding your view.
Thank you for being there. I am Martins Dixon. This is our Core Digest. We've been discussing the abducted girls, closer to the rescue but far from home. And our guest in the studio has been Sam Desi Olisa. He's a political and economic commentator, and he's been with us since we started and talking about how the girls are faring and then the abduction efforts that has been going on concerning the rescue of these girls. We're just talking about the military operations and the conditions of these girls and how they could be reformed and integrated in the society, and the whole notch about unifying to be able to win the war, or to be able to be effective in the war against terrorism. And you talked about the positive signs that we're seeing, the former presidents coming together, all the governors coming together, and then talking about a common front for the first time in a very long time. We see our political leaders, irrespective of affiliation of political parties and religion, coming to make one single statement that the girls will be rescued alive. Now, this takes us to another level of the discussion. We've seen that the clamor for the rescue of these girls have gone down a little bit. The tempo was not as it was initially. Now, what did you think informed this drop in intensity of campaigns and protests for the rescue of the abducted girls?
Yes, you remember this was not the first calamity inflicted on youth and students by the Boko Haram group. Just about a month before the girls were carted away, I think in Yobe State, in the dormitory, they went there in the night. According to reports, some boys were slaughtered in their sleep in the dormitory. So when this one happened, and the advisors to the president were, their body language was trained that it should go as usual. That was where people started clamoring. The international community stepped in, the whole world, and it was then that I dawned on the presidency, to set up a committee, which he did, to really find out, and I think he did, that it was true. So having found out, it dawned on us that we have to definitely go after these girls. We have to do all things possible to ensure their safety and to ensure that they are brought back safely. Now, I think the reason why the whole tempo died down is that people are now saying that government has really given attention, to that issue. It is not business as usual, So having seen that attention, now again, these are leaders coming together again in one unison. I think it's another step forward. And apart from that, behind the scene, I think a lot of things are going on there. So the reports are trickling in behind the scene to confirm that the girls were alive. As against the initial report that they have been dispersed to different directions, some of them have been married out, as against that. So when people now find out through security report or behind the scene report that the girls are alive, hale and hearty, and the government has now, given necessary attention, and the whole country is coming together, I think that's why the tempo died down. Then apart from that, the world powers, they also stepped in. United States offered help. United Kingdom offered help. Almost every part of the world offered help. It became an issue of global attention. So it could not be business as usual. And I think that's why the tempo died down.
All right, let's take a Facebook message before we continue. This is from Abidemi Elisha from Jos. Now he says, the military claims that Sambisa Forest is laden with landmines, yet we read of reports that some of the kidnapped girls, may God bring them home and alive, amen, do escape. How were they able to escape without stepping on the landmines? Who is fooling who? This is from Abidemi Elisha from Jos. Now, could you respond to that?
Yeah, you see, there are a lot of reports, there are a lot of rumors. Like I said earlier, issues of security like this, you don't discuss everything on TV.
No, but
So,
it was the military that came to say there were landmines planted in
of
Sambisa
course, the
forest.
military, you see, when you are playing football, I want to score a goal, you say dummy. So issue of security is not issue of telling everything on the TV. So the military could say one statement, whereas what is actually going on is different. Don't forget, the life of these guys are at stake. So
could there be a form of strategy?
it could be a strategy, that type of thing. So people don't just look at what they are hearing or reading from newspaper reports. If some of these things, the press too aggravated it. You don't fight terrorism on pages of newspaper. You don't. In fact, you make the terrorists so important, as if when you give them such feedback, they get feedback from they read newspapers, they also watch TV, they have satellite. So when you give them such things, they feel so comfortable. So the military could also use it as information strategy. So to say, that place is landmine all over the place, we could not come in, so that they too will feel, I think these are strategies. But one thing I know, Nigeria military has the capacity. Then the armed forces have the capacity, but it's a very dicey issue. Don't forget, in Russia, there was a sort of students that were hostages in a hall. When Yeltsin was first prime minister, before he became president and now prime minister.
Yeah.
So they wanted to rescue them by force. A lot of lives were lost in the hall in Moscow. So the military, they have their own strategies too.
Okay, let's take another message from Adamawa. This is Nnamaka Ile from Adamawa State. It says, progress made of this nature is not for broadcast. We are only telling the insurgents how far we have gone, thus putting our girls and the soldiers in grave danger. This is not hard to understand.
That's what I said earlier. When it comes to issues of security, the issues of this nature, you don't just start putting everything, all the cat in the front of newspapers and TV.
All right. Now, talking about what Nnamaka just sent, the message.
There are some classified informations which is not meant for the public.
Okay.
For you to succeed.
All right. Nnamaka just sent a message that it shouldn't be on broadcast, and you also said the same, that some of these issues should not be there. Now, the military just said within 24 hours that they know exactly where these girls are, and the Chief of Defense Staff says the military cannot go there to rescue them with force. Is it such information that shouldn't be made available to the public?
No, that is a general information. Sambisa Forest is in Nigeria. It's in the map. You can access it. You can have area view. You can have satellite view. So if military said they know where they are, they've seen them through satellite, that is not an information that is classified. We know that the Sambisa Forest, that is where they are operating. So, but the information like, we are already there, we are getting in there now, this is the distance. Information like, we have seen 7 of them, we have seen where the host, the camp, the duplexes in the camp. Information like, we'll be going in there tomorrow morning. Information like, they'll be rescued in 3 days' time. Those are classified information, which we don't need to be feeding the public with.
Now, away from that, now we're centering on these abducted girls, and let's look at their relations. Now, there have been reports that some of the parents recently died of trauma, very tragic situation and unfortunate information that came to the public. Now, how could we prevent some of the parents and the relations from unfortunately dying, just like others have been reported to have died?
Well, it's very unfortunate, really, really very unfortunate. You see, that is the essence of information management. And see, even ordinary things that are less than this can cause trauma for some people. Different folks, different things. So, unfortunately, it has to happen. But some of the parents too are very brave. There are some of the parents that even wanted to go to the forest. There are some of the parents that are still waiting. They believe that their children are coming back. So that is natural. There is little you can do about that. But I think in every situation, apart from these Chibok girls, Nigerians are going through traumas every day, different levels of traumas. So what we should do, we have always been our brother's keeper, but what we should do, which I have been advocating, is good governance.
Now, this is a
Good
special
governance,
case.
good governance, this extreme.
Yeah.
It's extreme. People are going through trauma. There are people who could not pay medical bills of their children that are in the hospital that could not be treated, and they are facing death. So, I mean, you understand what I'm saying? They are not taken by terrorists, but sick, poverty, inability to pay for their bills.
Now, on
You
these
see?
on these
So-
abducted girls,
Yes.
now a lot of people who are not only in Nigeria, all over the world, we're expecting a kind of special care and attention being given to the direct family, especially the mothers and if the
And
fathers,
parents,
yeah,
yes,
the parents, the
definitely,
direct
yes.
relatives
And I think-
of these
I think,
abducted girls,
well, I
so that we
wouldn't know
don't
the
have.
details. I think the state government, the Brunei state government, were in touch. One of the officials of Brunei state came on TV to tell the whole nation that the Brunei state government have the list of the students and their parents and they are in touch. That is at the initial level. And I think the state government should be able to do a lot of things to manage that trauma. The NGOs should also be there. Then the local governments will also be there. You know, the federal government too should also be there to manage these traumas for these parents, not just to leave them alone. But even in a situation like this, when, you see, nature is different. Nature differs from one person to another. Some people may be having high blood pressure before, and when this type of things happen, it aggravates it. If there is no special care, they may lose their life. But we are praying that most of the parents should stay alive while their children are back.
All right. You can call us to give your input in the program from the number on your screen. To give you the opportunity to contribute to the program, call us and tell us what you feel about the abducted girls. So close but yet far from home. The government says they will be rescued since. The former presidents, rising from the Council of State meeting, have reinstated confidence in Nigerians that soon enough, these girls will be rescued alive. Call us and tell us what you feel about our topic of discussion. And before we go on to talk about the next thing, let's take this message from Bayo Duro Nkeja. He says, maybe our troops are not trained for forest wars, but for city wars. Not to confront insurgents, but to intimidate unarmed citizenry. Not to manipulate tanks, but to set passenger buses on fire. We are a laughing stock, all of us, politicians, administrators, and what have you. This is from Bayo Duro Nkeja.
Yeah, I think why I express that opinion is that recent happenings, you know, in the city. You remember recently when a soldier is crushed by BRT, so soldiers came to the street and burnt some of the BRT buses. And apart from that, that does not mean that our soldiers are not trained. You know, it's very unfortunate. And I think what we need in this country is dedication from all sectors, including the armed forces. We rededicate ourselves. You see, an American will be proud to be an American because when an American is in trouble, the whole of America is in trouble. And the American government will use all the resources. They say what happens to one American happens to all.
Oh.
So I think that is what we don't have in Nigeria yet. That's why we have this type, like by your writing this.
Patriotism.
You know, you cannot blame him because you are on your own. If you cannot generate income to buy drinkable water, you will drink polluted water and you die because nobody will help you. You are on your own. Well, I think that is the essence of our canvassing for good governance. You see, when God gives resources to a nation, He has given it to us together as a nation, not to individuals. So, even individuals that are amazing weight, where are you taking it to? How many do you want to spend out of it before you die? So, do you think of another life? So, I think it will begin when government begin to behave like government in Nigeria, having good governance, taking care of the welfare of the citizenry, both in terms of economic welfare, in terms of security, in terms of future, in terms of growth. Then this type of thinking will not be there. So I can't blame him for expressing that opinion. He's right.
Okay, let's take it a little away from that. Now, the Chief of Defense Staff says that some arms recovered from the insurgents showed clearly that some people outside the country are fueling the violence with the aim of destabilizing Nigeria. Now, he says some of the arms recovered are very alien to the Nigerian army, and it means that people from outside are fueling the crisis or the insurgency.
Fueling insurgency is from both within and outside. If an enemy within does not give opportunity from enemy from outside, the enemy from outside cannot enter. So, for saying the fueling from outside, when it started, it was a localized problem. But when you didn't act on time, you open up. Don't forget, America has closed down terrorist activities in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Iraq. They went to Iraq, but ISIS has started a new terrorism in southeast Syria and northern Iraq. Don't forget too that these terrorists will look for new grounds. After the defeat of Gaddafi in Libya, a lot of arms and ammunition filtered to West Africa. Part of it came to northern Nigeria. Part of it to Mali. Sophisticated weapons. Because Gaddafi really amazed it, thinking that one day people will fight him. That he will go back to his village, he will open the armory. Unfortunately, France provided air cover to bombard him. And he died in the covert. He was shot with only one bullet. After that, they opened the armory. Everybody want to become Gaddafi of his own. Warlords. So the arms came to West Africa, part of it came to Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. But when this problem started, if we nip it in the bud, there will be no opportunity for Al-Qaeda or other terrorists, Al-Shabaab, whatever name they call, to come and gather in Nigeria, to make Nigeria a fertile ground. So that is why we must all unite. All leaders must unite to fight this insurgency and terrorism now. Otherwise, there will be no country for anybody to enjoy its wealth.
Now, let's take it a little away from that, what the Chief of Defense said. Now, we know for a while now, and it's still ongoing, that the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress, the leading parties, always take quick statements about trading blames on insurgency attacks. We've seen the recent one in Osun. We've also seen in the past in Ekiti, and apart from the insurgency in the north. Now, why do these two main political parties always get quick to throw blames on security issues when it's attacks or explosions and all of sorts of crises?
It's nothing but immaturity. Both of them are immature. And when you ask them, and what annoys me, when you ask them, people will tell you that Nigerian democracy is evolving.
We'll get back to that,
Okay.
democracy evolving. Let's take a call from Moses calling from Abeokuta. Hello, Moses, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for calling in Car
My name
Digest.
is Moses calling from Abeokuta. All right, I want to make a contribution like a layman. See, our country is in a big drama and they are facing a lot of difficulties every now and then. You know, there's a saying in my home, to call in U.S. forces to come and search for girls that they don't even know, to look for people in the bush that they have never. It's soldier from me and say, okay, go to the northern.
That call seems to be not very clear. Probably, Moses, you have to call back. Then the
Because
network
I
is...
didn't
Yeah, the network
what he
is
said.
not too clear.
Yes.
It's been breaking.
Did you
Now-
hear anything at all?
No, I think he's going to call back. But before Moses called back, let's take Chimele Asede from Abuja on our Facebook message. Chimele says, Olukolade said the girls were rescued within 48 hours. The presidency said no one was kidnapped. Biden said they know where the girls are. Boni Haruna announced fake amnesty. Omeri says they are closer to finding the girls. Akpabio says the issue is rescue, not finding the girls. I say, what is going on here?
Yeah, it is. I think what he has enumerated there were the initial confusion, which we've spoken about.
Yeah.
But everybody have agreed now that girls were taken away, and everybody has now come together. At least with the meeting we saw yesterday, that the whole past head of states, governors, everybody came together. They now agreed, you know, that they are going to work together. So we should. I think we are beyond.
And the days of confusion are over.
Exactly, we're beyond that now.
All right, let's get back to your statement
Yes.
initially
I was
when you
saying
said
the two parties in every. You see, it is very unfortunate that the two major parties in Nigeria always trade blames. They even accuse one another. You see, I look at it as political immaturity. If you are mature, there are issues that are beyond political parties. There are issues of national importance that are very sensitive, that affects all. Such issues do not be traded as political issues, such as the issue of this security and insurgency. It's very unfortunate. And what annoys me, sometimes when you talk to people, they will tell you that our democracy is evolving. That America started many years. Then I will ask them, are they going to wait for you? If you are evolving, you should evolve fast. There are these issues of national security. Both parties should not be trading it as political issues. Because when you begin to see it as political issues, you won't be able to come together. And a house divided against itself cannot stand. So I think henceforth, a part of the resolution of the National Council of States is that such issues should not be discussed on political basis. And I'm happy about that. So they should leave it at that. Then whether APC or PDP, both of them are guilty. Trading such issues as my own security, your own security, kidnapping, terrorism. No. It shouldn't be done that way.
All right, we have another Facebook message from Macaulay. Ene Andrew from Macaulay says, I wonder why my man Buhari was absent. Was he invited? If yes, why was he the only living head of state that was absent? If the reasons are not cogent and verifiable, it will be worrisome that a man of his stature will bury politics into grave national issues.
People will wonder, but I think Buhari is a highly disciplined person, highly disciplined past head of state. There must be a reason for that. This is not the first time when they have a National Council of State that one or two people are absent. It may be solely coincidental. I don't believe there should be there's anything behind it. You would like to be there if there is nothing so important. Maybe I'm not speaking for him, and I'm not holding forth for him. But with the Buhari, we all know, well, I love to be there. There must be something wrong.
All right, let's take this message from Bemi Peter and also a Facebook message. It says, for each day those girls are in captivity, they lose their dignity, virginity, or womanhood, as the case may be. They have been and continue to be psychologically and physiologically traumatized on a daily basis, and all we hear is they know where they are and will be released soon.
It's still part of what we are saying. So let's pray. Since the whole nation is coming together now, let's hope there will be a result. But the division we had earlier was not a good signal. So, and again, like she said, dignity, the girls that are supposed to be in school are in captivity. This is a crime against humanity. But I know that this experience will also build some of those girls to be very strong in future. It has pros and cons.
We hope positively strong.
Yes, positively. This experience, when eventually, if, and we hope, they will be released, and they come back and they go to school, they debriefed and retrained. Some of them will be very strong in future to stand and face the negativity of the society and trash it based on this experience.
Now, we hope and pray that happens.
Yes,
now,
that's why I say when, if, and...
Okay, let me take you on this. President Olusegun Obasanjo once said he was not given the go-ahead by the presidency to negotiate with Boko Haram. Now that there is a united meeting and we've seen a united front, now can we say that Obasanjo will now have very positive and significant input in this fight against terrorism?
The project called Nigeria, Obasanjo has put a lot in it. And when that statement came up in the paper, I thought the paper just wanted to say, I don't expect such a statement for such a statesman. Even if the federal government did not, there are certain statements we don't make on pages of newspaper. After all, when you saw him in the meeting, you were cracking jokes with Mr. President. People will now begin to wonder. You understand? There are certain, if in the United States of America, starting from all the living presidents alive, you can never see past president making statement against president. When they meet Mr. President, this Mr. President, they are all together. That's the togetherness we want. We don't want a division in this country. A head of state making a statement to exonerate himself, he cannot. He shouldn't forget that his role in where we find ourselves, the role he played is very, very significant. So building Nigeria, it was part of the foundation. You know, you fought the Civil War, you ruled as a military president, a military head of state. He was fortunate again to come out of jail to rule Nigeria twice. So when such things happen, I expected him to be silent so that people don't even know where he's going. So he's not a baby. I'm sorry to say that. I think that is the position. If I were head of state of Nigeria and I'm no more there, I will always, even if the person personally they're doing wrong, I won't say it in the public. I will go to him.
All right,
let's talk to him privately so that I don't create that impression.
Okay, let's look at this. A few days back, okay, before then, let's take a call from Moses. We have Moses calling from Bekota. Moses, are you there? Hello, Moses. Hello, are you still there? Can you speak up a little so that we can hear you?
Yeah, I hope to conclude my words of discourse about the other time.
Wow, it seems like the network is not too friendly with Moses this morning. I keep trying. You could get us on a clear line.
Not only with Moses, the network is bad generally. I think that's part of the problem we have in Nigeria.
Okay.
Not only Moses. Moses, I'm sorry for your condition. It's not only you.
All right, away from Moses now. We've seen. Now let's take this Facebook message from Kogi Kamar Udi. It says the Nigerian military chief of defense lied when he disclosed the girls have been found. You see why many of us don't believe in the credibility of the Nigerian military. It was even a breaking news on BBC and CNN, but it was a lie.
At what time? That's the question.
Maybe in the early days of.
We have passed that stage
in
now.
the early days of.
Yes.
We've gone beyond that. We've put our acts together.
Right now, the whole world, the whole Nigerian past head of states, they now know where they told us their meeting. They know where the girls are. But they want to rescue them not by force so that they will not be injured.
Endanger their lives.
So I think we are past that stage.
All right, let's take Max Johnson from Macaulay. He says they have finally agreed to negotiate with the Boko Haram. The negotiation is unofficial and should be underground talk. Hope Obasanjo that presents himself at the meeting, is not there to get information to castigate Jonathan. Wow.
That's his own opinion.
Well, let's move ahead.
Negotiation should be behind the scene, not pages of newspaper, not on TV, like I have always been saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I was saying a few days back, the Southeast governors came together and they issued a statement that they're procuring more security equipment to be able to contain insurgency, especially the Boko Haram insurgency. Because of the interception of some Boko Haram sect members in, I think, Enugu and Imo State also. Now, why do you think the governors will have to go to tell Nigerians they are buying military equipment or security equipment to be able to contain Boko Haram?
Well, that is their own political gimmicks. Providing complementary security equipment is not alien. Lagos State has been doing it. You know, that's why robbery, terrorism, and all those sort of things have become the Lagos. Other adjoining states, remember at a time in Ogun State, you can't put armed robbers will write to banks they are coming. All banks in Shagam and Jebo, they will be shut down. But the Ogun State government is living up to expectation. They purchase APCs, they have bought all sort of things to complement the Nigerian police, and there is peace. So if the Southeast governors can politicize it, that is their own kettle of fish. I mean, you don't need to say such things. Then, by the way, a lot of staggering amount are provided in every year budget, both federal and state governments as security votes. So why are they making noise about it? Well, maybe they want to spend 100% of their budget on security votes that will end up in people's pocket. That's their own kettle of fish.
All right, we have another message from Macaulay. This is from Mazi Joe. He says the best news of the year, even though speculative, but hope is rising. We thank the security forces, the president and elder statesmen, I think he wants to say there, that are hard at work. We must rescue this nation.
That is a good statement. Nigeria as a nation must be rescued. Not only rescue the Chibok girls, we must come together to tell ourselves we don't need to heat up the politics. To tell ourselves that electioneering process is not a military war. It's a freely given franchise. And to tell ourselves that people have the freedom to choose, to vote for A party or B party. To tell ourselves that Nigeria, Africa looks up to Nigeria as a great hope. If Nigerian state failed, Africa has failed. The black man has failed in the world. We go back to tribal war period. So I think that is a very good statement.
All right, we have another message from Michael Inyam. It seems like Makurdi is really on this case this morning. This is from Michael Inyam from Makurdi. He says, the major priority of any serious government is security of life and property of her citizens. Our focus is on Boko Haram. Nobody is saying anything about Fulani herdsmen that have been killing innocent Nigerians on a daily basis.
I think where this is happening so much prominently, Plateau, Bruno, and Benue states, I think the state governments are doing a lot.
Yeah, and Taraba too.
Taraba, they are doing a lot to talk to their leaders. And I think the cases are dying down. And I hope that trend will continue. Why the Boko Haram assumes national limelight than the Fulani herdsmen issue is that it's nothing but terrorism. You know, insurgency and terrorism that has been a trademark of Al-Qaeda and all over the world, which not only Nigeria is fighting. So I think the various state governments are doing a lot about it. And I hope what we really need is education. When people are educated for God's sake, half our problem is gone. When we're talking of education, let people be enlightened.
Okay. All right, let's take another message from Ozaloku from Enugu. He says, Ozaloku says, may God help the girls to come home safely. This is getting too long. The more the delay, the less the chance of bringing home the girls in good health and sound mind. May God save Nigeria from all these leaders.
I say amen. What would you say? It's a prayer.
Yeah, may God
yes,
save
I think
Nigeria.
everybody coming together now, you know, seeing them together, working together, I think that's a good omen.
Yeah, a positive one, especially on this security situation and with what we have. We have John Duonyi from Lagos. He says, same old story. How soon is the soon of the federal government? God knows how many of them remain alive by now.
Well, people will always...
How soon is soon?
Soon is in definition of soon. Soon is a time to come. I hope that time will be short.
Yeah, you know? Everyone is hoping so.
Exactly, that's what we hope. And I think Nigerians will jubilate. And I think a lot of credibility will go to the black race, not only Nigeria, when it is announced that these girls return safely and they are complete. In fact, America, international community will respect us.
So that means
we get our dignity back.
The integrity of Nigeria is at
stake. Yes,
it's at stake. Yeah.
We get our dignity back. And for God's sake, we should prevent a reoccurrence. Recently, I learned that Boko Haram also took 60 women, but those ones escaped.
So, close to Chibok, around Chibok.
They escaped. So if these 200 and something girls are released, they secure their release anyhow, I think it will restore our dignity back.
Unfortunately, that abduction of the 60 women has also been a contentious issue on the belief that they were or they were not. But let's leave that for now. This message from Henry Asede from Abeokuta. He says, we appreciate the efforts of our military, but they can do better.
I've said it.
Yeah.
Oh, that we think ahead. Special training, special branch of the military to handle terrorism and counter-terrorism.
And in line with that, the Chief of Defense Staff says here that our show Nigerians that the military had the capacity to bring back the girls alive and therefore advise that it should be allowed to do its work. This is a statement from the Chief of Defense Staff.
Nigerians are not saying we didn't allow you. What Nigerians are saying is that the timing, that's what they're expressing. So, but when we saw all our leaders coming together, it gave us hope. So that what are reading on newspaper, this one is saying, blame me that, no, blame me this, no. They are all coming together. Please, these guys are Nigerians, and we are all Nigerians. Anything that happens to one Nigerian affects all others. If something happens to one of your finger, for example, if you have weak low,
The whole of
the whole of your body, your brain will not sleep in the night. So that's what I'm saying.
All right, quickly now, let's look at this scenario. These girls were abducted in school. They went to school to acquire education so that they could become responsible and better people in the society. And this is where this tragic incidents happened. Now, how will this go to affect the willingness and the desire of girls, especially within the Northeast region, to acquire education? Now that we know that there was backwardness, especially in northern Nigeria, on education of girls, especially with these incidents. How will that affect?
Yes, this is a very strategic question. And it's a far-reaching. You see, I think, one, this incident has created a sort of setback, particularly to parents who don't believe sending their children to school. Because I remember in years back, about 20, 30 years back, on a school day, you just see a marriage party coming to school to pick away a girl that is in maybe Form 2, Form 3, giving her to marriage. And the school was helpless. At the time, the government promulgated law in the North. They make it an offense for you to come and carry your child away from school for marriage. And I think time by time, the training of girls are increasing in the North before this incident happened. But in my own personal opinion, I don't think this will stop the training of girls in schools. So, but what it should do, it should provide a sort of a pedestal for us to step up the training of these girls. For example, securing the location of their schools, not putting schools in remote area. For instance, they said security reports warn that this Boko Haram is coming, and the WAEC people also said they should not write the exam there. Yeah. I don't know why all these things happen. I don't want to be blaming anybody now. Yeah. But I think more schools to be established in secured area where you can secure and girls to continue. You should send more girls to school. Because when you don't train, when there is no education, what you are doing is you are multiplying ignorance. Okay, and ignorance is a disease you cannot cure. Okay, so it shouldn't. This shouldn't serve as a deterrent from sending girls to school. Okay, so Sam, sorry,
I have to cut you here because of time. The girl-child education is very important, especially with the popular saying that says if you educate a woman or a girl, you educate a whole nation. That's true. I think this will be a topic for discussion, but these girls need to be rescued alive.
Exactly, and rescued and brought back.
And they need to complete the education journey which they started before their abduction. Thank you very much, Sam, for obliging us the opportunity to be on Core Digest.
I'll be available for you.
And thank you so much for being here. Viewers, it's been the abducted girls, close to rescue but far from home. That has been our topic of discussion today on Core Digest. And we had political and economic commentator Sam Ndesi Olisa, and we've done justice to many of the questions that was raised. And thank you for bringing in your comments. We hope you keep getting in touch with us to tell us how you feel about these national issues. I'm Martins Dixon. Keep a tab with us on other programming that we have. Next is News on the Hour. Thank you for being there.
Core TV News presents a platform with presence in over 30 states of the Federation. Be sure to be had. For live coverage of events, we have the capacity to deliver from anywhere in Nigeria and beyond. Contact us now on 0803-471-8550 or 0803-724-9733, 014-533-407.
Our 24-hour news station